23 short months ago, you gave me the honor of representing your interests, your hopes, and your dreams in Ottawa. It's a call to serve which I do not and will never take lightly. It's not my seat, it's your seat. It's not my voice, it's your voice. This election is about what is best for you, the people of Essex. I am as committed as ever to leaving the world a better place than I found it. Sure, there will be differences of opinion and approach, issue by issue, but I believe that we all want the same thing. To secure a well-paying job, to meet our basic needs, including rent we can afford, to save for a home we can call our own, help our children get established, care for our aging parents, save for a rainy day, build a nest egg for our retirement years, and just maybe have a little extra to pursue our hobbies and passions. Jobs and affordability are high on my list of priorities, and I believe they are high on your list too. All of these things have been put in jeopardy over the last 18 months. As I officially launch my campaign, I am asking you to again give me the honor of being your Member of Parliament for Essex. There is much work to be done ahead of us. Canada's economic recovery will take strategic investments and sound fiscal management. Canada's Conservatives got us out of the last great recession. And I believe our economic recovery plan will lead Canada out of the COVID pandemic. In a nutshell, we will secure jobs by recovering every one of the million jobs lost during the pandemic within 1 year. We're going to secure accountability by enacting a new anti-corruption law to clean up the mess in Ottawa. We're going to secure mental health through our Canada Mental Health Action Plan. Secure our country by creating a strategic stockpile of essential products and building the capacity to manufacture vaccines right here at home. And we're going to secure Canada's economy by balancing the budget over the next decade. This election is about how we can get Canada back on its feet and rebuild our economy and our jobs and our way of life. There is a simple choice. Canada's Conservatives, who will focus relentlessly on jobs, wages, and getting Canada's economy and finances back on track as quickly as possible. During the 2019 election, my team and I knocked on nearly 44,000 doors. I plan to continue door knocking throughout my term. Once elected, I was out and about in the riding, meeting with constituents, attending community events, seeking input from those involved in key sectors. I was also at the table defending our region's interest as a member of the International Trade Committee, reviewing CUSMA, dubbed the new NAFTA. All that came to a screeching halt in March of 2020 as the COVID pandemic hit our shores. We were locked down in our homes. Parliament was shuttered for months. We sat in small numbers, only to pass hastily written income support legislation or to correct the Liberals' errors. That does not mean the work stopped. It shifted to the riding level. The load and the challenges actually increased. I spent long days calling constituents, meeting by Zoom. In the course of my first term in office, my office was contacted by just over 10,000 constituents. These contacts became vital to my ability to represent you in a hybrid parliament. When I wasn't in Ottawa, I was attending parliament and committee virtually. I was contacted by individuals and businesses and community leaders. My staff and I helped constituents navigate through unknown territory and receive the income support and information they needed. Family reunification was and remains a huge issue. We dealt with Canadians stranded overseas, hundreds seeking refunds for canceled flights. We assisted the laid off and unemployed with their backlogged EI claims. We advised constituents on their CERB applications and gave aid when they ran afoul of the CRA. There was a tragic outbreak of COVID amongst our migrant community. I worked closely with community and business leaders and my Conservative colleague for Chatham-Kent-Leamington. Thankfully, there were no major outbreaks when the workers returned this growing season. In short, there was no program, no issue, no challenge related to the pandemic that my staff and I did not address with compassion and a sense of great urgency. Visibility, however, was a challenge, especially during the many months of provincial lockdowns. Increasingly, conservatives are dependent on social media to get our message out. Meanwhile, the Liberals tried to shut down conservative voices on social media. It was crucial to fight the Liberals' draconian internet censorship bills, the now infamous C-10 and C-36. These bills were an attack on Canadians' free speech and rights. The Liberals, with the full support of the NDP Bloc, Green Party, MPs, did everything they could to ram C-10 through Parliament. Thankfully, the Senate refused to be pressured into a hasty passing. If Conservatives form government, those bills will not see the light of day again. Fundamental freedoms must be protected. And on that note, we will also reverse the Liberals' latest efforts to undermine the rights of firearm owners. The issue of violent crime is about illegal smuggling. That will be the focus of a Conservative government. I am a doer. I don't have time for Twitter wars. I like face-to-face, neighbor-to-neighbor contact. Video updates will, however, be a necessity, become the bigger part of my future. I won't, however, be doing videos on provincial issues. Voters elect representatives at every level to speak for them in their respective legislatures and council chambers. They don't need self-serving overlap. That's not to say the federal government can't do more. It just means the government of Canada respects the Constitution and works in partnership with the provinces, not at cross purposes. When it comes to provincial issues, the feds can best help by increasing health and social transfers. For example, boost healthcare transfers for long-term care, such as our leader, Erin O'Toole, has pledged to do. Or as Erin O'Toole has also pledged, reopen the existing healthcare agreement with the provinces and commit to boosting transfers by 6% for the next 10 years. That would be an additional $60 billion in health dollars for the provinces. We can also adjust tax policies to increase options for seniors. Erin O'Toole has announced a plan to make it easier and more affordable for seniors to stay at home or live with their family. For the past 23 months, I have prioritized federal issues such as the Canada-US border. That is solely a federal responsibility, one that I take seriously. On the border, the Liberals prove tone deaf time and time again. They simply do not understand how integrated the economy and personal connections of border communities are. My staff and I fielded hundreds of calls and emails from families separated by the border closure. The Liberals' one-size-fits-all approach left many facing unnecessary hardships. The Trudeau Liberals never got family reunification right. I could fill pages of examples of who's fell through the cracks on this issue alone. The other border issue that our region faced was the failure of the Liberals to designate advanced manufacturers, the business owners, their workers, and their customers as essential. The result was lost contracts, which put well-paying jobs in our manufacturing sector in jeopardy. I raised this issue countless times in the House of Commons, at the special meeting studying Canada's economic relations with the US. The Trudeau Liberals simply could not grasp the concept that commerce is not just about goods, but it's also about people. Though lockdowns were provincial mandates, when businesses in Kingsville and Leamington were the last municipalities still in lockdown during the first wave of COVID, I used every bit of influence I had as the MP for Essex to help get those communities reopened. Keeping Line 5 open was and is another priority. As a member of the special committee studying Canada's economic relations with the US, I defended our region's interest as the committee urgently reviewed Governor Whitmer's announced closure of Line 5. It was never clear if Trudeau had even called President Biden, and the Trudeau government's last-minute amicus brief just made it under the wire. The future of Line 5 is now in the hands of the US court. If re-elected, I will continue to make this issue a priority. Upon my election in 2019, I was named chair of the Conservative Auto Caucus. In that time, I met with Canadian and international automakers, auto part manufacturers, workers, and their representatives. To a person, I was told that EVs are the way of the future. I am committed to ensuring that this sector has everything it needs from the federal government to flourish. Our workers are skilled. This is a great opportunity to capitalize on this emerging market. Another of the issues that I will continue to prioritize is shoreline protection. This will take a comprehensive plan and collaboration by all levels of government. Replacing our aging infrastructure, particularly water and sewage facilities, but also roads and bridges, will require investment from all levels of government, as well as public-private partnerships. Restoring our tourism and hospitality sectors is also a priority. So is preserving our farms and greenhouse operations, vital parts of our food supply chain. As this opportunistic election unfolds, I will continue to highlight the issues important to the people of Essex. Today, as I officially launch my campaign, I stand on my own record and ask for your vote so I can go back to Ottawa and fight for you. I always describe the riding of Essex as a microcosm of the whole. We have agriculture, tourism, automotive, advanced manufacturing, and parts manufacturers. We share the magnificent Great Lakes with our U.S. neighbors and our First Nation peoples. The Windsor-Detroit land border is the busiest border crossing in North America. Whatever sector exists in Canada as a whole, it can be found in Essex as part of our diverse economy. In the 4 weeks of this very short campaign, I hope to win your trust again. I have missed the personal contact. I hope to see your face at the doors or in your community. Despite all that has transpired in the last 18 months, I have great hope. I truly believe our best years are ahead of us. Please follow me on Facebook at Chris Lewis for my daily campaign updates. And friends, as Erin O'Toole puts it, and I agree, enough talk. It's time for action to secure our future. Thank you.